Hi, Jeremy here. Let me ask you, do you ever feel like you're held back by your subconscious fears and blocks from the past, like resentment or regrets? Do you ever feel like you're not worthy, that you just don't deserve the things that you desire? Do you ever think that you're trying to be perfect all the time and it's killing you? And you find yourself procrastinating or you're paralyzed by the fear of not being good enough? Do you ever feel like you're surrounded by negative Nellies and that there's no one there who's encouraging you to achieve your goals? Well, if that's you, then I want to say two things. First of all, you're not alone. We did a short survey on mindset recently, and when we got the results back, we discovered that literally dozens and dozens of people are struggling with these challenges. So you are definitely not alone. The second thing is, at their core, these challenges are all about mindset. Now, way back in 1903, James Allen wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh, and it sold millions of copies. And you can get it free now on the internet, just search it. That title is based on a proverb found in the ancient wisdom literature of the Old Testament, and it says, "As a man thinketh, so he is." In modern language, we translate to, "You are what you think." You see, the reality is that everything begins in your mind, whether it's your happiness or your sadness, your success or your failure, your self-confidence or lack of it, your amazing ideas or paralyzing fear. It all begins in your mind. Now, some people may say, no, that's not true. Doesn't our thinking depend on what happens to us? Well, it's tempting to blame outside circumstances for our negative thinking, but consider this. Can you be ridiculously rich, ridiculously good-looking, famous, supremely talented, and still be absolutely miserable and depressed? Of course you can, and it makes no sense. But the good news is that if you can transform your mind, your thinking, then you can actually transform your life and your future. Boris Becker, the tennis champion, said this at the height of his career, just after he attempted suicide. He said, "I'd won Wimbledon twice before, once as the youngest player. I was rich. I had all the material possessions I needed, money, cars, women, everything. I know this is a cliche. It's the old song of the movie and pop stars who commit suicide. They have everything, and yet they're so unhappy. I had no inner peace. I was like a puppet on a string." You see, your thinking controls your life and how you experience and interpret it. So can't we just think positive, happy, fluffy thoughts and everything will be awesome? Well, you and I both know that it's just not that easy, and I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But maybe you're watching this thinking, okay, who is this guy and why should I take any notice of what he's got to say? Good question. Let me start by saying that I've always been fascinated by this stuff. I mean, over the years, I've studied everything I could find on motivation and positive mindset and how to shift thinking patterns. I've spent most of my professional life helping people, teens and adults, as a youth worker, as a counselor, a motivational speaker, and a life coach. But I really learned about this mindset stuff when I broke my neck in an AFL footy accident back in 2006. I found myself in a neck brace for 6 months. I couldn't do anything. And at that time, I struggled with anger and frustration and anxiety and depression. And to get through that, I had to learn for myself how changing my mindset could change my life, how it could turn a really difficult, challenging, negative experience into something that helped me grow into a better person with more compassion and more understanding. So, why would anyone need a mindset makeover? Well, let's talk about your brain for a moment. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and to make life easier for you. And as much as we'd like to think that our thinking is free, the reality is that most of the time, our thoughts and our feelings are more like trains running on tracks. Now, those tracks mostly formed early in life as a result of painful lessons we learned or rewards that we received. And your brain usually says, let's stick to these tracks and they'll get us to the destination safely with a minimum of pain. But what happens when these train tracks won't let us explore new places or thoughts, when they take us away from the places we want to go? I mean, we want to grow and learn and experience new things, pursue success, but our brain is saying, stick to the old tracks, it's much safer. Worse still, what happens when those tracks keep taking us to places and feelings that we don't want to go? Be quiet. Don't speak up for yourself. If you just do what they want you to do, you'll be loved. If you try new things, you'll get hurt just like last time. And the problem is we end up feeling stuck and trapped and frustrated. Now, people say, just change your thinking and don't feel that way. But as I said earlier, it's just not that easy. And that's because the train tracks that your thinking runs along are anchored to something deeper. They're bolted on to your beliefs. You see, we all have beliefs, and often they're subconscious, about what the world is like, who we are, what's important, and what's right and what's wrong. Often, in fact, usually, we didn't choose these beliefs. We inherited them, or worse still, we formed them as young children before we were old enough to really understand what was going on. And these beliefs, these ways of understanding, are running your life. That's why it can be so hard to change our thinking and our behavior sometimes. One of the biggest questions people ask me is, what if my beliefs and my fears and my coping habits and my thought patterns are so entrenched, they're bolted down so tight that I can't change? The old saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But if you talk to a dog trainer, they'll tell you that that's absolute rubbish. And it's doubly wrong when it comes to you and I. The fact is that some beliefs, some paradigms, that's what they're called, can be changed in an instant once you recognize what they are. Others do take more time and energy to shift, but if you have the right tools and the commitment and the support, you can change your limiting beliefs and you can transform your thinking. And in the process, transform your life and your future. That's what Mindset Makeover is all about. It's about getting free of those limiting beliefs, getting off those train tracks, and creating more positive, empowering beliefs that are going to take you where you want to go. And isn't that what you want? One of the biggest challenges people identified in the survey was struggling with perfectionism and the way that that need to be perfect can lead to procrastination and even to total failure to take action at all. In the next video, I'm going to give you some strategies to overcome that limiting thinking and help you to get to the bottom of the belief that's actually causing it. Does that sound good? I would love to get your feedback on this stuff. So leave a comment below and tell me, what do you think? Is this making sense? And what did you find helpful? And even what questions does this raise for you now? I'm Jeremy, and I'll talk to you again soon. And just in case no one has told you this today, you are awesome. Have a great day.